Hey girl, hey. So I'm just going to start off this tutorial using this NYX color correction palette because apparently I forgot how to do an intro of any sort. So anyways, I'm just using the two salmon color type of shades and putting it on my dark circles. I have a whole foundation routine where I go into detail on how I use this and the foundation I'm using in this tutorial as well. So I will link that below if you're interested in seeing or listening or both more details on this. So I'll link that below. And moving on to brows, I'm using the IT Cosmetics Build a Brow in the color gray. This brush is by Anastasia and I'm using that just to apply it and blend it out and all that good stuff. Then I'm moving on to my brow gel. I'm using the Benefit Gimme Brow and I think this is the light shade. And then I'm so excited about this because if you guys have followed me for a while, you know I'm obsessed with this NYX Wonder Pencil, and I just found it in the bottom of my purse. I thought I had lost it. So yeah, I'm carving out my brows here and then just blending it out using a flat brush. This one is by Beige Cosmetics. For concealer, I'm using my favorite concealer of life, which is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Chantilly. If you guys are thinking that I'm using way too much of this, it's because I'm obsessed with it. I feel like it makes my foundation look a little bit lighter. I feel like they should make this in a foundation and my life would be complete, but they don't have it, so I just put it on top of everything. I'm also going to be using this concealer as an eyeshadow primer, and then just blending it out with a beauty blender, girls. Yes. Then moving on, I'm going to set my under eye area with MAC's Emphasize, which is from this MAC Duo that I got recently that I'm digging. And then I'm going to set my foundation completely using the Kat Von D powder in the shade Light 42. Then moving on to my shadow, I'm going to be using, ta-da, the Kat Von D Vida Loca palette, and I'm obsessed with it, and I'm going into the color Noble. I could talk on and on about this, but I gotta get on with the tutorial, right, girls? All right, so I'm just blending this into my crease area, kind of socket area, and making sure this color is nice and blended because this is our transition shade we'll be using. I'm then going into this shade called Lemmy. It's like a darker green shimmery shade, and I'm going to be using a smaller dome-shaped blending brush to apply this. I'm working in the outer corner of my lid and the outer third on this right now, and basically I'm keeping this motion pretty round. I'm not going too sharp of a V here because I want this to be more of a halo effect. So don't go, making this too sharp of a V shape, if that makes sense. Maybe like curve it more to like a C shape. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm basically just applying this to my inner and outer corner of my lid. And then let me start over. As the color starts fading, I start pushing this into the crease and connecting the inner and outer corners. So basically just pack that color on the inner and outer corners, and as it starts fading, go ahead and blend that into the crease to create kind of a bridge-like motion, leaving the center of the lid blank. And then I just go ahead and blend this out with a fluffy brush, and this brush is a clean, fluffy brush. Moving on to the lower lash line, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to apply that Lemmy color on the inner and outer corner of that lower lash line, leaving the center blank. And then I'm going to make sure that outer V there is nice and connected. I want to connect that lid to that lower lash line and make sure it's nice and blended out without any gaps or unblended areas or anything like that. Moving on to the color Black Metal, I'm going to use a pencil brush by Eco Tools to apply this to the outer corner of the eye. I feel like using a pencil brush keeps it nice and controlled. You can do this rounded motion I was talking about earlier and make sure that you're applying the color exactly where you want it. Then going in with that dome-shaped brush and making sure it's nice and blended out. All the lines are connected, no harsh lines, all that good stuff, girls, you know it. Then I'm using that same pencil brush and applying it on the inner corner on both the top and bottom lash line, I guess you could say, leaving that inner, very, very inner corner, like the point area, leaving that out. If you pull the darkness too far in there, you can end up kind of looking crazy. So yeah, just leave that blank. Here I've already started with my NYX Jumbo pencil in the color Milk, and I'm applying this to the center of the lid that we had left out. And then I'm going to take a flat brush. This one is by Beige Cosmetics. I'm just going to pat this color down, make sure it's nice and even to prep it for the bright color we're about to put down. And then I'm also kind of just tapering it as I go towards the outer corners. Since we already have color there, we just don't want to cover it, so I just kind of taper it and make sure it's blended. I'm also going to apply the NYX Jumbo Pencil to the center of the bottom lash line as well. Then I'm going into my favorite color of life, which is the color Vinyl. It's like this lime green, bright neon. I don't know, but I love it. I'm placing the most pigment on the center of where we put that white cream base. And then as the pigment starts to leave the brush, I taper it into the inner and outer corners of the lid. I don't go all the way to the inner and outer corner, just to that edge of the darker color we put down. Then using that same smaller dome brush that we used with the color Lemmy, I'm gonna just soften where that transition is between that bright color and the darker color and make sure it's nice and soft. I'm gonna do the same thing on the lower lash line. I'm just very quickly gonna put on some mascara because I'm gonna put some lashes on here in a second. But then I'm gonna highlight my brow bone and I'm gonna use this color Lyric. I'm gonna put this just on my brow bone and make sure it's nice and blended out. And then I'm gonna go through with a clean brush and just kind of make sure that the highlight and then the transition shade kind of just blend together so there's no harsh lines. Using a fatter pencil type brush, I'm going to apply that same color Lyric on the very inner corner of the eye where we left blank earlier. Then I'm just gonna add some mascara to my lower lash line, the same Monumental Lash by Sigma that I was using on my top lashes. And then I'm going on to false lashes. I'm gonna be using these House of Lashes Siren lashes, which I think are the perfect lashes for a halo eye. I don't know, I'm obsessed with these for a halo eye. And of course, as always, lashes are always optional, so don't feel like you have to wear them because you totally don't. Then I'm going to move on to my favorite contour shade of life, which is from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and it's just the lightest contour shade there, and I'm just going to put it in the usual areas right under my cheekbones and under my chin for that sharp jawline you know I love, and a little bit on my forehead. Then moving on to blush. This is my favorite blush of life. I cannot get enough. It is the Sigma blush in the color Serene. It is like the perfect mauve color. Applied that, then I'm onto this highlighter I've really been digging. It's from this Hard Candy Trio, and I just love it. And moving quickly, obviously. So I'm lining my lips using the NYX pencil in the color Taupe. And to finish off the look, I'll be using the LA Splash Lip Couture liquid lipstick in the shade Cryptic. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And as always, if you want, please say hey girl hey down in the comments box because you know I love talking to you. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great week and I will see you guys next time.